they're just good kids for the most part. Someone asked, how do you manage your time? Ha! Do you see that I haven't posted any videos in a very long time? I don't manage my time, but I don't know what the future holds. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brianna and I am a 4th year, 3rd grade teacher in North Carolina. And it's February 2nd and I haven't gone back into a schedule, but that's okay. I'm here to film a video and it's going to be a Q&A to catch up with y'all because it's been a while and I want to keep you updated with my life. I think I'm really going to try, and I know I say this a lot, but I think I'm really going to try to start weekly vlogging again, because I loved that. I loved reflecting on everything. I loved sharing what I did in the classroom. So fingers crossed that that happens this week. Okay? All right. Now, before I get into any questions, which I did ask you guys on my Instagram, I tried that like comment thing on YouTube, but I don't know if I did it right. 2 people liked it, but there's no comments on there, so whatever. But if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you click the link in the description. And I just wanted to say, I thrive on dry shampoo. You guys know that. And you also know that basically every teacher thrives on dry shampoo. Okay. I'm a Batiste fan, right? And currently I just have the Clean and Light Bare kind because I don't know, someone recommended it. I usually use the brown one, but I live for this stuff. Like, it's in my hair daily because I love the volume. Okay, well, they came out with a dry shampoo mousse, and that's what I use today, and I think my life has changed forever. Like, it comes out white, but it's a mousse, so it goes away and it's not like that powdery residue left behind, and it's so clean. Like, it's not like there's gunk in my hair. And yeah, so if you have not tried the waterless cleansing foam from Batiste yet, go find it. I got mine at Target, and like, I'm so excited for this revolution because I feel like my hair is gonna look so much better than with this stuff, because even though I do love dry shampoo, like, it makes my hair very dry, quote unquote dry shampoo. Sorry, my mother is blowing up my phone. Anyway, update on the moving, packing situation, because one person asked me if I am staying in North Carolina or moving out of North Carolina or something. Well, currently, since I'm moving in February, like, and I still have a job, I can't really leave. So, as of right now, my lease is set for 15 months. So I will be here another year, but I don't know what the future holds. So nothing is keeping me in North Carolina. I definitely won't go back to New Jersey. Well, I say that, but you know, a lot of things have changed. I don't want to go back to New Jersey, so I'm planning on going wherever life takes me. Let's just say that. But I'll be here for at least a whole nother school year after this one, since I did just sign my lease. So that is that. But I've been trying to clean out my second closet all day because someone thought it was a good idea to let me have 2 walk-in closets. I have 4 trash bags over here. The big black trash bags filled, bursting at the seams of clothes. Guys, I'm a little ridiculous, and I love the thought of moving because I'm getting rid of everything and it's glorious. So let's jump into more questions. Someone asked my favorite pens, which is probably the worst question to ask a teacher because I love a lot of different pens for different reasons. The Friction clickable erasable ones are probably my favorite though, because they're the best erasable pens I've ever tried. And the fact that they're clickable, they're better than the ones where you take off the cap. They just don't have as much ink in the other ones. I don't know. Maybe it's because I store them upside down since they sit that way. But I really love those. I do love Papermate Flair pens and Inkjoy pens. However, the only way I can use an Inkjoy is if I'm leaning on something because I need it to be thick. And then Flair pens, I feel like my Flair pens dry out fast. Let me know if that happens to you. I don't know. I do have some gel pens that I've talked about in the past, but I don't really use them as much. So, you know, just the typical teacher pens. Now the pencils though that I love are these Uli mechanical pencils. I posted about them on my Instagram because I got them in my Teacher's Crate box, and you sharpen the lead. Like, it's a mechanical pencil and you take off the back and you can sharpen, so it's a pointy mechanical pencil and not just like a stick of lead. It's really, really neat. So look them up if you haven't seen them because they're pretty cool. How's your year going? So this is my favorite group of kiddos by far, but I'm realizing, like, I think the reasoning behind that is because, first of all, this is my smallest class ever. I'm now down to 18 kids. Last year I had 22, 21, and then years prior to that I had 28, 29, because in 4th grade there's not a cutoff, but in 3rd grade the cutoff is 22, and I think it's dropping every year because they're trying to minimize class sizes in North Carolina. But so I have 18 kids, and I have 7 girls and 11 boys now. So it's a boy heavy bunch. They're all just so helpful and kind, and I really, really, really think it's because morning meeting is something my school was focusing on this year, and I just see like the things we talk about in morning meeting just come out in their everyday like routines, and they're just good kids for the most part. And like, I just feel like I have such a much better relationship with them because of morning meeting. I mean, of course, I don't know. I just love on them so much more this year. Like maybe it's like the 3rd grade thing, but like they just give so many more hugs than 4th graders. And I mean, I did teach 3rd last year, but I don't know. It's just different this year. But I really feel like it has a lot to do with morning meeting. So, just saying. So my class is awesome. I feel like I'm understanding the standards a lot better. I love that I'm planning reading now because I feel much more prepared. My brain is wrapped around the topic when I actually go to teach it. And also, this being my 2nd year teaching 3rd grade, I feel like I know and understand the content a lot more. So that's exciting because this is the first year that I've taught the same exact thing 2 years in a row, even though I've been teaching for 4 years. My first year I taught 4th grade science and social studies. My 2nd year I taught 4th grade science and math. And then last year I taught everything in 3rd. So just being familiar with the standards and the content and the misconceptions that the kids have, I think has made me much more successful as a teacher this year. So I'm really happy about that. My reading centers are going really, really great. I have the kids do 1 a day and they rotate to a different one each day of the week. And guided reading is getting there. I went to a professional development the other day on guided reading, but I'm really disappointed because it wasn't anything that I didn't already know. I thought it would like help jumpstart my like actual guided reading, but I don't know. So I'm going into this week with some products that I'm testing out. I'll let you know how it goes probably in my weekly vlog, because I know it's important, so I'm just really trying to focus hard on it. Someone asked, how do you manage your time? Ha! Do you see that I haven't posted any videos in a very long time? I don't manage my time. Well, since 3rd quarter just started, I've been trying to keep up with grading and homework, and look through those things that day and figure out where I go next with my kids that day. That way I'm on top of things and I'm intervening when I need to, I'm remediating when I need to, and everything just makes a lot more sense. So that's been a good thing for me now. It's only been a week and 2 days into the quarter, but I'm up to date on all my grading. I know where my kids are at. I know where we're going. And so I think if you just stay on top of things daily and don't put anything off, then it will make everything make so much more sense and make it a lot easier. I also just joined the gym, and so I'm going to cardio dance 2 days a week. Which is nice. The class isn't until 7:30, which is even better because it doesn't intervene with anything. And then after I go to dance, I'm just much more energized rather than going home and sitting on the couch and passing out by 9 o'clock. I am out until 9 o'clock, and then by the time I get home, I'm so much more energized to keep going. So that's been really fun and helpful. How do you deal with children not doing work? This year, luckily, I don't have any that are like reluctant to do their work. They even all show their work most of the time. It's just one of my expectations from the beginning of the year. Like if they don't show their work on a math test or they don't show their text evidence on a reading test, I hand it back to them until they do it. So since that's my expectation from the start, they just get into the routine of doing it, and that is that. Now in the past, when I've had students who like just don't want to do work at all, honestly, it's different for every kid. Every kid will have a different reason to not doing their work or whatever it is. So you just really have to know your kids and figure out what's the underlying issue. Sometimes if there's not much support at home, then you really just need to focus on the relationship and trying to hold them to those high standards and showing them that you expect these great things from them and they are capable of it, because maybe they're not getting that at home, and the only thing you can do is push them to the best of their ability and show them that you do care and be consistent with that, because usually if they're reluctant to do their work, it's because they don't have consistency at home. So you just have to be consistent in your expectations and stick to them, which is very, 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 very difficult. But it gets better as the years go on. You begin to realize that it does make a difference. What subjects did you need and levels? I don't know if that means like in college. Again, I think every school is different with their elementary education like curriculum, but like my basic general education classes, you typically place into a certain math in college based on like what you did in high school and how you did on SATs maybe. But talk to your advisor or whoever helps you pick out classes, because for elementary education, like I didn't need to take calculus. I didn't need to take this intense math. So I literally took the most basic math, and I think it was equivalent to pre-calculus. I took the most basic thing because why am I going to take a harder course if I don't need that to graduate? So just keep that in mind. But then like besides my gen ed classes, I don't know, like I took ones that I thought I would be interested in and thought would help me in my major. There wasn't really much specifics. I just had to pick like a reading class. I had to pick at my school, I had to pick a religion class. I had to pick some electives. But then the elementary classes, it was like all tracked out for me. So I didn't really have a choice there. But yeah, it just depends on your school. Don't take the hard classes if you don't have to, unless you want to. But I mean, I didn't need them for anything. Like I'm never going to be a engineer or math accountant, whatever. So I didn't push myself in that area. That way I could focus on what was important to my future career. Worst thing about being a teacher, I tell this to people all the time, but it's literally that you have to be on every day and you have to be ready to give it your all, because if not, like, it reflects on your kids, and then your day is just so much worse if you are not there fully committed that day. And I was trying to explain this to my mom, because she's like, oh, I go to work all day and then I work a second job, which I commend my mother greatly. However, teaching is just in a category of its own, because if I got to go be with adults all day, sit at a desk, answer emails, that is a much different atmosphere than having to control little humans and keep them on task and keep them from hurting themselves or each other or going crazy. And just, it's a much more energy consuming job. So I would say that's the hardest part, just being there. But I think it's helpful in my mental health aspect, because it's good to be like that every day, you know? What's the most embarrassing thing that happened to you in your classroom? I don't know. The other day I was bending down and putting a book away or something, and then one of my little girls comes up to me and she goes, Miss Pavensky, I saw your panties. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for telling me. That's so embarrassing. It's kind of hard to get embarrassed in front of kids, because they're more embarrassing most of the time. So they're cute and they laugh, and it's fun to laugh with them. So just enjoy it. Say if you had kids, would your teaching affect how you would parent? 100 million bajillion %. Like, oh my goodness. As a teacher, I just have already interacted with so many different kids and so many different parents that I see the things that I want to do and be, and I see the things that I want to stray away from. And I think it's really cool and insightful and helpful, and I'm excited to have my own kids. Like, that's what comes next for me. I think I was like mentioning this in another video, but then I cut it out. But like, I'm on a mission to have a family soon, and teaching is just showing me like the type of parent I want to be. And it's also helping me as a teacher, because I'm thinking like, how would I want my own child's teacher to like respond to my child in this way? So it's helped me like take a step back and really be a lot more just caring and particular about how I interact with my kids. And I think that's made a difference, like I said, in our relationships this year and my class as a whole. Like, I'm just now much more looking at them as my kids. And from a parent perspective, even though I'm not a parent, I just think like, how would I want my own kids to be treated? And that's what I'm trying to do every day. But the plan is, when I do have kids, like, I so badly want to be a stay-at-home mom. So we'll see what the future holds. The hardest thing about being a teacher is probably what the worst thing about being a teacher is, just being on all the time. It takes a lot and a special kind of person to be able to do that. How do you deal with a child who is anxious, doesn't want to talk about it, but gets upset? Again, this is different with every kid. First of all, like, try your best to really know that child. Talk to the guidance counselor, because if it's like my school, the guidance counselor has been with them through the years. They know their history. They may have a stronger relationship with the child at the time. Really talk to the parents and see if there's something that could be causing this, if the parents see this at home as well, and what they do, because it's a team effort. And like, there are different strategies to do with some of my students. What I'm doing is I'm giving them a star, because I do have a few that just are getting that testing anxiety, which is so sad because they're 8 and 9 years old, and that's just tragic to me. Like, they're too young to be going through those things. But I saw this star, and when they're getting overwhelmed, they just take a break and they trace their star, and they breathe in and breathe out and breathe in and breathe out. And it's just a breathing technique to try to help them refocus and calm down as they trace the star. So I'm going to try that out with a few of my kids. A lot of the times you just have to let them have their moment and like calm down. Like, you have to think about yourself in that situation. Like, when you're overwhelmed and frustrated and you don't want to talk to anybody, like, you really don't want to talk to anybody. So you just need a moment to yourself. A lot of teachers have like calm down corners or calm down caddies or something. I just let the kid be. I suggest to them going to the bathroom and just splashing some water on their face, getting a sip of water, just a little walk to get out of the classroom and breathe for a little bit. And then when they come back to themselves, that's when you go and have a conversation about what happened. Other question, are you planning to stay in North Carolina? Which I talked about. And then the last question here. Oh no, you guys are just updating me here. How's the love life going? Well, first of all, since this is like towards the end of my video, I'm just gonna say, because I don't know who's watching, but my ex now has a new girlfriend who looks like me. Just saying. Anyway, back to being a teacher. The love life is going. Right now, I'm just really trying to just focus on being the best me that I can be, because this is my time to do that. And taking it slow with someone in particular, but, you know, really slow, like really slow. So it's going good, I would say. I'm happy. Could be happier, but I'm happy. Thank you for asking. What are some essential first year teacher things to buy? I actually made a video of this, so I'm gonna link this here, because when I was in my first few years of teaching, I feel like I was all over this, and right now I can't think of anything. So go watch that video. That will be much more helpful than me at this moment, and I have to finish because my thing is gonna stop me. So last question, I got cut off. Last question, do you want to teach any other grades? I've thought about eventually, like, I think it would be really fun to teach college level like classes to elementary education majors, to future teachers. Once I was asked back to my school to just be on a panel of like first year teachers and the kids, I mean the students, the college students asked us questions and we responded based on our first year of teaching. And I just thought that was so fun. And I mean, being on YouTube, like, I love sharing my experiences so much, and I feel like you can learn so much from that. I definitely see that like way in my future, maybe. As for other grades, like, I'm really happy with 3rd grade right now. I feel like it's the point where they're still young and loving and interested in school, but it starts to get more serious, and I just feel like I love instilling that in them. Whereas by the time 4th grade comes around, like, they start getting their attitudes and getting a little bit older, so I don't know about that. And then whereas 2nd grade, like, going down would be just like the opposite. Like, school is important, but it's not like grades. Like, it's more of, are you understanding your numbers and understanding basic math concepts and understanding how to read. And I don't know, I like the little bit of push that 3rd grade gives. I feel like it's my happy medium. So I'm happy where I'm at right now. But like I said, I don't know what the future holds. I am definitely going to push myself to vlog this week and update you guys daily on Instagram. So make sure you're following me there. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell since I am so all over the place. And thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I know that I've been slacking, but you know, that's life. Let's make it a good month. All right, see y'all next time.